appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part for which I am solely and completely responsible.
That was President Bill Clinton's infamous lie about his relationship with Monica Lewinsky. For years, we have been shining a light on the allegations of sexual misconduct by President Clinton. And again, liberals have given him a pass for nearly 30 years. The women that have been involved, smeared, slandered, besmirched, thrown down the stairs, bimbo eruptions. We have left-wing comedian Chelsea Handler actually tweeted an apology last night to Juanita Broderick for not knowing her story. Handler's tweet read in part, quote, "You're right. I apologize to you for not knowing your story." Democrats, along with Republicans and the rest of the world's political parties, all need to do a better and respect at first-hand accounts of victims. I believe you. Joining us with reaction to my opening monologue and more, Fox News contributors Tommy Lahren, Jessica Turlov. You know, here's a guy, I call him Senator Grope. I mean, he's grabbing a sleeping woman's breast. This isn't an allegation. It's not a he said, she said. We have the evidence.
Absolutely. We do have the evidence. Irrefutable, as you said in your opening monologue as well. Democrats have been swift to condemn it. I actually haven't seen anyone defend it, including Senator Franken himself, and he even called for an investigation into his own actions. I think he acted pretty responsibly considering the irresponsible actions that set this all off. And most importantly, we need to consider the fact that we are officially in the territory of no partisan affiliation with this. We've got gross guys on both sides of the aisle, and we shouldn't be making any arguments on the basis of who we'd like to see in office. You know, it's interesting because in the case of the Roy Moore situation, I said the same thing. If true, it's despicable. If true, it's disgusting. I did a hard interview with him. A lot of people, you know, praised me for the interview. And I said, you've got to answer these questions. At the end of the day, it's going to be the people of Minnesota and the people of Alabama. I think where the real difference is here, where you look at what Al Franken and how he's responded, and you look at a Roy Moore, you even look at what happened when Donald Trump was accused of sexual assault. There has been no remorse.
By the way, in the case of Donald Trump, I interviewed most of those women the New York Times put in there. They all said it was false. One after another.
They all said I accused him of this, and I take it back.
No,
it never happened.
They came on this program. Go back and look at that article. I brought many of them on this show, and they all said they were taken out of context purposely by the New York Times.
Okay, well, I know that Summer Zavros is still moving forward with this. Either way, there is a proper way to deal with these allegations, whether you think that they're true or they're not.
Would it be different if that was Donald Trump, that picture?
Well, he would still be president. People heard the Access Hollywood tape, and you said in your opening monologue, what would the media be doing if this was
Donald
Trump? The media went crazy when it was Donald Trump, and they are going crazy when it's Al Franken.
Didn't the media and liberals in this country protect the Clintons for 30 years?
I mean, I haven't been alive and commentating that long. It would appear that way, yes. And there are a lot of
more than it appears. They did.
No, but this is also being led by a younger generation. I think that point is important. That Chris Hayes and Matt Iglesias.
By the way, I gave him credit last night.
And I think that that's important. There are people who did not grow up with the Clintons. They were not paying attention when he was in office.
We know they got a pass even in 2016.
They got a pass. She's lost 2 elections.
Well, no. We got a pass because she took money from countries that abused women, killed gays and lesbians, persecuted Christians and Jews, and nobody wanted to hear when that second debate happened, and Juanita and Paula and Kathleen were there, Tommy.
Well, and this goes beyond Bill Clinton. It goes to Hillary as well. And I know that the liberals hate it when we still talk about Hillary, but it's important if we go all the way back to Bill and then we follow it through Hillary. She just ran for president on the whole woman card, the whole female empowerment. Hillary is just as responsible as Bill was. As you mentioned, the bimbo eruption squads.
Tommy, if Bill Clinton raped Juanita Broderick, I don't know how you can say that Hillary Clinton is just as responsible as Bill Clinton. Think about what you're saying here. I understand you want to say she enabled.
Jessica, wouldn't that make her an enabler? If you have a bimbo eruption squad and you work to blackmail and discredit the accusers, are you not also responsible?
No. There is responsibility, and then there is raping someone. They are completely different. You are conflating 2 very separate things, and I don't think that anyone
I just got some breaking news. Senator Kristen Gillibrand of New York is now saying Bill Clinton should have resigned over the Lewinsky affair. Yeah. And here's the point that I made last night. I think you know more about the Clintons. You know Doug Schoen very well.
I do.
But the reality is you have Kathleen Willey. I took the time and I went and interviewed them. I had the second interview that Juanita gave, first to Lisa Myers, then me. And nobody wanted to pay attention in the media. In this campaign, it was brought up. Hillary just, oh, it's old news. Is it really, when you say you're the women's champion in the world, you take money from countries that abuse women? She's never said that. She said women have a right to be believed, but she never commented on the women that accused her husband.
Well, I think
is that hypocritical on her part?
Yes, it is, and she suffered for it. I mean, if you look at the female turnout for her, if you look at even what happened in the Democratic primaries, where Bernie Sanders won 18 to 29-year-olds, and I believe in 80% of the contest by a 6-to-1 ratio, you know that she was hurt by her brand of feminism, and that a lot of things that she was saying did not ring true to people. Again, I'm going back to what Tommy just said. It's really a separate issue to have been the wife of someone who's accused of rape and to have actually raped someone. I think that Clintons were certainly protected by liberals.
You never saw an interview with Juanita Broaddrick?
I did, actually. I did on the network last week.
Did you believe her?
Here. It's certainly a compelling story. I've read a lot of accounts of this. I've read what Ken Starr said about it.
Do you believe Kathleen Willey?
If you believe that every woman has a right to believe.
Jennifer Flowers was thrown down the stairs in 60 Minutes in '92, and it turned out Bill Clinton under oath had to admit he had an affair with Jennifer Flowers. Yes,
I mean, he obviously had an affair with these women. I understand how serious these accusations are. If we are going to be the party of women's rights and our champions,
but Kathleen Willey, Paula Jones, and Juanita were not. That was not consensual. All three of them. All right, Tommy, let's bring you in.
Well, of course it wasn't consensual. And now look at this stuff. When we go back and we look at it, you have to set a precedent. And the precedent was Bill. And everyone wanted to look the other way when it was Bill. And then all of a sudden, when the Republicans, now the light's being shown on them, of course, we're still talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about an Access Hollywood tape. Meanwhile, we have disgusting pictures right in front of us. Why we're still going back to Donald Trump, I don't understand. When we should be talking about the precedent setter, which was Bill Clinton, which was Hillary Clinton. I'm still going to stick to that. Hillary was a part of this.
Well, actually,
she covered up for Bill. The mainstream media covered up for them
Tommy,
both,
if you're going by a timeline, I believe Roy Moore was allegedly assaulting 14-year-olds before Bill Clinton was doing anything. So what about that? You just want to focus on Al Franken. This is a society-wide problem.
Tommy, I'll give you a chance to answer. Go ahead.
We didn't know about Roy Moore until 2 weeks ago. It might have happened long, long ago, but how long have we known about Bill? How long have we known this? And how long has the mainstream media shielded him, shielded Hillary, still said, I'm with her, female empowerment, first female president? I'm sorry, I didn't want that as my first female president, someone that had a bimbo eruption squad and worked to discredit Bill's accusers. I'm not with her, but still you stood by her. You were with her. Where were you? Where were the feminists, Jessica? Where were you?
They were sitting right here in this chair. They were sitting all over the country supporting a woman who was advocating an agenda that would have made women's lives in this country better by raising the minimum wage, by getting quality, affordable health care. I totally take your point, but be responsible.
I got to jump in. She took money from countries where women are told how to dress.
Are you talking the State Department?
Excuse me. She took millions of dollars from countries for her foundation that abuse women. Women are told how to dress. They can't travel without a male permission. They can't vote in some of these countries. Marital rape is legal in some of these countries. Domestic abuse is legal in some of these countries. She took millions from those countries. Jessica, I think I know you wouldn't take a dime from people that have those beliefs, would you?
Well, I don't work in that kind of business.
I didn't ask you. If you had the chance, would you take a penny?
You're also talking about when she was in the State Department. If
no,
you read
I'm talking about for the Clinton. No,
for
the Clinton
Foundation, which was her husband's foundation when that money was taken.
Excuse me.
Would you take
money from countries that abuse women, kill gays and lesbians for who they are, and persecute Christians and Jews? Would you?
No, there are better countries to take money from. But Donald Trump has businesses operating in those countries, as well as Jared Kushner.
It's amazing how we're always back to Donald Trump. We really cannot stay on the Clintons. We can't talk about Hillary because it always goes back to Trump. Well, he has businesses where he's a businessman.
You talk about, Tommy. If you give up Hillary Clinton, I'll give up Donald Trump. Jessica. We'll try that for the segment.
Let me ask you both a really tough question. We have about 20 seconds each. It's tough, though. Tommy, I'll start with you. What do you do in these cases when it's he said, she said, and then it becomes he said versus she said, she said, she said? How do people, because I think it's important that people know truth, how do you get to the truth?
I don't know how you get to the truth, but I'm hoping if there's a silver lining in all of this is that the young women on either side of the political divide will find the courage to speak up and not wait 20 years. I think that moving forward, that's going to be the best solution. So if you have an issue of a problem, someone touched you, you didn't want to be touched, say something as it's happening, because we're in a climate right now where you have the opportunity to stand up. And so I would hope that women across the board would be able and be empowered enough to do that at this point.
20 seconds.
I agree with that. Women in this country are having a moment, and I think it's incredibly important. Suddenly people are interested in hearing their stories. And I would also add that there are a lot of industries that are not being paid attention to. We happen to work in media, and media and politics is shiny and bright, and people will pay attention to that.
With Hollywood, but there are, the music industry.
Absolutely. There are countless people who are working in fast food restaurants who are getting harassed every day, who are, working in homes and not being treated properly. So speak up and use whatever platform you can.
Thank you both for being with us.